Hi, back to another week in the garden. So kind of the biggest changes this week, as you can see, is I put cardboard over these two beds. Now, these have been just completely overgrown with grass and still are. But the idea is the cardboard blocks the sunlight, you stop photosynthesis from happening, and suddenly your grass all dies. Now, these need more cardboard. This was just what I had, so anytime I get an Amazon order, guess where the cardboard's going for. Basically, my plan is to not use either of these beds until probably next spring. Then over here, I ripped out the weeds that were growing at the end of this bed, tilled it up. This soil is, as you can see, it's not great. It could use some more organic matter, but it'll work for now. My plan is to plant beans in this. I ended up buying some beans that were shipped to me. The package ripped open in shipping. I ended up with a bunch of beans going all over my garage floor when I brought in the mail. So I'm just going to plant those because they're dirty anyways. And hey, I might as well do something with them. So I haven't actually got them down in this yet. Probably be doing that on Sunday. Ooh, and that looks like a rock. No, that's just a clump of clay. I've got this, we don't quite know what it is, plant. We're pretty sure at this point it's a mango tree though. Because in this bed, we ended up throwing a bunch of compost materials, including leftover mango seeds, and surprise, surprise, you have that pop up. Now, over here, we've got the chili Laoya. We've got some here, some in that far bed over in the corner, if the camera will focus. Trust me, I'll show you in a minute. Now, these are kind of cool in that they're growing straight up. I think they're somewhat related to Tabascos. My wife planted these, and she got the seeds. Can't remember who planted them. But anyways, we're waiting for the fruit to get like fully ripened and some of it drying so that we can save seeds out of the first few fruits. But hopefully this thing will turn entirely red. Honestly, given some of them, like that one is getting some color, this will probably be entirely red by next week. Harvested, and you won't get to see it. Now over here, gotta turn the camera up. We've got the I can't remember what the Filipino name for it. Basically, we've got Juke growing, and the leaves are edible. So normally they're boiled in a vinegar solution. Actually, you can see by the top of this one, this has got harvested already. Hopefully later this year, I'll just dehydrate some of the leaves and throw them in soups, that kind of thing, see how it goes. But they're actually really high in vitamins, and as you can see, they grow really easily. And there's a reason this stuff was used to make rope in the past. Over here, this bed is our Thai chilies. And I need to harvest again. But as you can see, looking here, I've got some green fruit and some red fruit. A lot of red fruit, actually. And we've got a few flowers coming up. Now, it's getting hot. We're getting into summer here in Texas, so it's really hot. And I'm not sure if those flowers are actually going to develop into fruits, but my plan is to come through, once again, probably Sunday, just harvest all of this and probably end up dehydrating a bunch of it. Over at the tomatoes, these got planted late, and clearly we've got some disease coming up through in there. But I do have some flowers on them. Once again, I'm not really expecting much out of these flowers. It's getting hot, so I'm just going to try to keep these alive until fall, and hopefully I'll get some fruit when that cools down. I do have a few fruits growing, like that one, which kind of surprises me. I wasn't expecting to see any of this this far in towards summer. And like you can see flowers there. So, you know, maybe we'll get some surprises. Now, if you look at that fruit, it got eaten by a bird, I think. I know I've got lots of birds that are eating my fruit. So that happens. I need to prune these back and cut off the diseased portions. I've gotten exactly one tomato off these, and it was a relatively small tomato. And then over here, we've got more chili Laoya. These are in a darker part of the garden because they're next to the house, if you look there. So this gets shaded for half the day. And these chilies seem to really like sunlight because the plants over there, where they're less shady, are doing a whole lot better. So lesson learned, next year, those are going to be in a brighter part of the garden. And behind me, we've got more Thai chilies, as you can see, getting red. These look droopy. It's the hot part of the day. They got watered this morning. They'll perk up later. There's some more red ones. And over here, we've got the cherry tomatoes. Now, this was entirely volunteer tomatoes. I didn't plant any of these. I just didn't harvest them very well last year, and as you can see, I'm not doing a good job harvesting them this year either. I need to come out here and pick a bunch of cherry tomatoes. I just don't like cherry tomatoes that much, so it hasn't been a priority. And this also, if you look, my hand there to block it, if you look closely, is producing flowers. So maybe it will continue producing, maybe not. Obviously, there's no supports, which just kind of fell over. And we'll walk over here. Is my calamansi. And it looks like my neighbor's goats are in. This is kind of somewhere between an orange and a lime. It's a Filipino tree. And this one is, 2-3 years old at this point. Though granted, it spent like the first year of its life in a bucket inside. During last winter, we got a freeze, killed everything above ground, but the roots shot back up. So we're hoping that, well, when we take care of it better this winter, we're probably not getting any fruit this year, but maybe next year. If we look down here, the stem is starting to get woody in there. Camera will focus. So that's pretty much what's growing. I do need to point out this video is brought to you by God, who created vegetation in the third day of creation, and without whom, well, to be honest, without vegetation, the garden would be kind of boring. Anyways, if you're not already gardening, you probably should, because if nothing else, you get to wear a cool hat.